Let's move on to the legs. What I do here is masking out the the leg area, right? Control click to reverse that, and I can just drag this down. I can also flatten them using scaling. To make them a little flatter and go all the way down. Oh, that's too high. So somewhere here should be fine. Clear the mask. The leg length could be something like 2 height lengths. Okay. But I think I'm over exaggerating that. Anyway, so I'm gonna use Sculptures Pro and just holding on Shift to smooth this area to give me something basically like retopologizing that part. Okay. Let me double click on that dynamic to make my brush bigger. Okay. Basically retopologizing this part. Don't really want to smooth that too much though on the bottom. Okay. Whoops. Performance is getting too low and something went wrong. My ZBrush is crashed. I guess that new feature is actually not having a performance hit. That's why they didn't release it for the longest time, and it's not that easy to do, I guess, to crank up the performance with this tool here. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna do a Dynamesh. Okay, so let me drag this down again. And let me do a Dynamesh instead. So underneath, oh, I have my Dynamesh here. Alright, so I have a Dynamesh model. Let me smooth these guys out. Okay. Since the resolution is too high, let me turn on Sculptures Pro and just go through the leg to have a lower resolution that I can really deal with, right? And then I can go to the set view. I'm going to drag the bottom part backwards, okay, to form that nice arc of the body again. Alright, and then I can go to the set view, right? I can then drag things around to match with the contour of the leg, something like this, okay. Alright, so that's how the leg would look like from the side view. Let me use the BCC or BC whatever, BCU in my case, which is the clip curve to clip the bottom, and then, oops, I don't really want to re-Dynamesh it actually. Alright, so I get the side view correct. The front view is like a stick, so let me give that the volume. I'm gonna use BIN inflate to inflate, you know, this area here. A little bit on the knee and a little bit more here. A little bit more here. Can smooth that out while I'm adjusting. And holding Alt to shrink in. And use smooth, whatever. Maybe I actually drag that part up. Okay. And here, of course, I'm losing a lot of volume, so let me add in some more stuff over there. Alright, and then start blocking in the volumes around the leg. Okay. Depending on what kind of standing pose, yours could be a little different. The leg is having all different shapes when you have different poses. I'm just gonna do standing still, more or less. So something straight. The knee is too big. Let me use the clip it up to carve in, define where the knee is, more or less over here, right? And I can break it into top and bottom parts. Okay. And then I'm gonna go to the side view and reposition it. Okay. Don't really have the butt, so let me just draw that out real quick. More or less like this kind of like shape. Okay, so just remembers it as that. Some stroke could do the job already. Just bring these guys closer. to the middle. In theory, they're touching each other. Let's just have a little seam here in the middle. Okay, and yeah, so that's basically how the butt would look like. Okay, then do some more refining here, make the contour look smoother. All right, and moving on to the bottom view, I'm going to define the middle part here. So more or less arced, like this. So you see a arced bone structure down there, right? And then I can block in the detail in the middle. Okay, yeah, also smooth it out. Want to have the middle part here in the middle, right? And we have side structures wrapping around. We can even drag that shape to refine it. Now this part, for muscular body, it's gonna actually be pretty big sometimes. You can look at some reference and see that. Okay. Mine is like, I think I'm doing average and not super strong. Not average either. But definitely stronger than average people, but not like crazy kind of approach. Okay. Anyway, so I can then also block in this big guy here. It's like a big bulge over here. The end of the muscle in front. There's 4 ends of this muscle, and it's kind of like having a long shaft in the middle. I have another piece on the side. Don't really want to go too overboard on that part. Also this guy here going across from the side, right, to here and wrap around. All those cool things you can do. And the muscles inside is going to do this, right, going outwards. You can just draw some stroke and smooth these guys out. But again, you can block in whatever amount of detail you want to do, but eventually you want to go here and say, am I getting the correct shape and proportion on the bigger scale? Now when I look at it, I'm thinking the legs are too long, so I'm gonna shrink that real quick. After shrinking, it doesn't really feel right anymore, so I'm gonna smooth out some of the structures. I don't really want them to be too big. The knees also appears to be really big, so I'm gonna drag these guys in. Okay, just some fine tuning of the contour. Smooth the ankle out. Alright. Thinking of making this part dipping in too much. Let me bring some more depth back. Okay, and structure around the knee going inwards, right? And from the back, we can also carve in the 2 ends or the 2 sides. More or less like this. And the back, we can basically create a big chunk bumping out. Okay, like this. Drag that in. Push it in. Push that in. Okay. So you have a big capsule on the back. And this capsule separated to two chunks going towards the front, and you have the bending area in the middle. Okay. And see, I kind of want this guy to be arced a little bit more. I think I'm making this this part too small, but that could be true. Okay, and just make it a little bit bigger. BIN, inflate, to inflate this part and do some smoothing. Okay. Alright, we can start blocking in some more muscle shapes. Okay. Alright, let me just refine a little bit more of the structure I already have. You can see I also keep constantly changing the bigger proportion, dragging the bigger shapes left and right, up and down, and just trying to see if I overlooked something big structure-wise. Make sure that those are correct, right? Before move on to other stuff. Okay. All right. Have the little winkle going up. Doesn't mean the structure goes up, the structure goes down like that. Okay. Sometimes you see winkle is actually not just doing this way, right? It's going up. Anyway, not really worry too much about that, and smooth out the inside over here. Okay. I think maybe this part is too high, right? So let's keep looking for those arrows you have. Now they don't have to be correct in the beginning, but you just don't dip into detail that fast. But you do want it to somehow have everything, the bigger structure, everything there, right? That's when you really have a reference to each other, so that you can really see, okay, this one compared to the others is wrong, because there's no right or wrong if there is nothing to compare with, right? So that's why I try to block out the details, the bigger shapes, if I can, sooner, right, than later, so that I can judge if I'm getting the correct shape for my leg or not. And then start blocking in some smaller details. And make even some of the parts sharper by using edge polish to polish this part, to make the knee a little bit more sharper, right? I think the knee can be a little bit wider, and reposition it. Okay. I really want to make this part looks like it's bone structure, so I'm using edge polish to polish it on some of the parts. One thing I want to fix a little bit is this bump. I think I'm making it a little small, so let me correct the curvature, basically. So, you know, some stroke here to make it more rounded this way, and blend it to the surrounding, of course. Alright. Now, so the blending here, I don't really like that value I'm having over there, although it does appear on the anatomy, right, more or less. But it's not something I wanted to be appear on the final sculpt, okay, because this, you have skins, right? You have other stuff, basically, around that area, and I can bring these guys closer on the inside, right? And then I can just fill in more volume here. Okay. All right. Cool. So let me go ahead and do just some adjustment on the length of the different part of the leg. Trying to figure out if this contour looks good. I think I'm having some weird bottom shape that I want to address. Okay. Alright. So sometimes I use smooth to reduce volume. It's not like I want to smooth that area, but rather I wanted to make that volume smaller. So smooth can actually do that. If you keep smoothing, you can see it's getting smaller and smaller, right? So that's one of the strategies I use to, make that part smaller, basically. Alright, so far I couldn't see bigger problems, but that's could because of me looking at it for so long. So I'm gonna stop doing the leg now and moving on to the next. I'm gonna go do the arms. Okay, see you next time.